Hi, I'm Robin Russell and welcome to Coastal Today, an inside look at Coastal Carolina University. All across the world, marine mammals are becoming stranded on our shores. These animals are either sick or distressed in some way. Coastal's College of Natural and Applied Sciences received a NOAA Prescott grant that supports this research related to marine mammal strandings. And here to talk about this grant is Dr. Rob Young, Professor of Marine Science. Welcome, Dr. Rob Young.
Hello, Robin. Thank you for having me today.
Congratulations on this grant.
Thank you.
Talk a little bit about it.
Well, it's from NOAA. It's through the National Marine Fisheries Service, which is part of NOAA, and they're tasked with managing the Marine Mammal Protection Act. And so this one is geared towards taking care of marine mammal strandings throughout the country and all the coastal states. And it supports both sort of the logistics of a network of volunteers to respond to the strandings, and it also supports some research related to strandings.
It seems like this is such a timely grant. It's always in the news or in our local papers that something has washed up.
Right.
Talk about why this is happening so often.
Well, most of it's natural mortality. If you live near the coast and marine mammals live in the water, and occasionally they'll die from old age or sickness, and they'll wash up. So that's what most of it is. And South Carolina gets usually around 50 or so strandings a year. Most of them are bottlenose dolphins. That's our common marine mammal. But every now and then we get a whale, or so we had a live pygmy sperm whale stranding in Myrtle Beach this summer. Drew quite a crowd. And so occasionally you have some that are human interactions. They can become entangled in lines. They can ingest things like plastics or bags, and so sometimes you have those as well.
Now, what will the volunteers actually do?
Well, there's, I suppose, different levels.
Yeah.
We work very heavily with the National Ocean Service Lab in Charleston, and the crew down there really does the bulk of the work for responding to strandings in the state, and they have a full necropsy lab there. There's a network of volunteers throughout the state that can be sort of first responders until they get there. So some of it's crowd control, some of it is, if it's a live stranding, some of it is trying to keep the animal comfortable and keep people safe so that it doesn't roll over them in the waves and things like that. If it's a dead stranding, they may be taking measurements, they may be taking pictures, looking for human interactions or line marks, things like that. We will be training a few students to go out and be first responders and take tissue samples, so that the crew from Charleston doesn't have to drive all over the state every time. And we've also got some students involved that are going to be developing a website for the Stranding Network in South Carolina, and newsletters, and probably some fundraising so that we don't always have to go back to NOAA for the grant.
I like that, some fundraising.
Yes.
Rob, what type of thing will you study with these stranded animals? What are some of the findings that would come out?
It's quite a range. Marine mammals, they're mammals. They live in the sea, and so there's some real similarities with us. And so looking at some of the health parameters, it relates a lot to the environmental health and back to humans again. One of the things that's looked at a lot are how certain toxins and other things in the environment can get incorporated into the blubber and into other tissues, and they feed a little higher in the food chain than we do, so some of that tends to get a little more magnified up the food chain than it shows up in them, and so we'll be keeping track of those sorts of things. Also some basic population biology, which animals, under the Marine Mammal Protection Act, the National Marine Fisheries Service is tasked with managing marine mammal populations, and to do that you need to know which stock is which, who belongs to what group, and if you do see an epidemic go through a group, or if you see maybe a certain fishery practices causing more entanglements or something like that, you need to know if that's affecting a small group, or a big effect on a small group, or a small effect on a large group. You have to know those sorts of things. So some of it's just population biology.
Rob Young, you're always fascinating. Congratulations on the grant again, and we're excited that our students get some actual hands-on with this.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us.